Hey there. It's time for our daily lectionary reading for Tuesday, the 21st of December. Uh, yes, by the way, they're pre recorded. You know I'm not in the office. So, yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. This is our second day in Psalm 113. However, because of Christmas Eve, we're not going to spend 3 days in the Psalm. So today we're going to do Psalm 113 out of the Holman Christian Standard Bible. Then we will do Genesis 31 to 24. Our New Testament is Romans 8:18 to 30. And those will be out of the NRSV, our Pew Bible here at First Baptist. Let's start with Psalm 113, Praise to a Merciful God. The NRSV subtitle is God, the Helper of the Needy. Hallelujah. Give praise, servants of Yahweh. Praise the name of Yahweh. Let the name of Yahweh be praised, both now and forever. From the rising of the sun to its setting, let the name of Yahweh be praised. Yahweh is exalted above all the nations, his glory above the heavens. Who is like Yahweh our God, the one enthroned on high, who stoops down to look on the heavens and the earth? He raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the garbage pile in order to seat them with the nobles of his people. He gives the childless woman a household, making her the joyful mother of children. Hallelujah. I'm becoming I'm kind of impressed with the way the Holman Christian Standard Bible is treating the Psalms. In case you haven't noticed, I've been using it a lot more than the Common English Bible or the New Living lately, simply because I think they do a good job of keeping it poetry, even though it's being translated from an ancient language. All right, Genesis 31 to 24. When Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, yeah, we jump from the birth of Jacob to Jacob having kids. Mary does that sometimes. When Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she envied her sister, and she said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I shall die." And Jacob became very angry with Rachel and said, "Am I in the place of God, who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb?" And she said, "Here is my maid Bilhah. Go into her, that she may bear upon my knees, and that I too may have children through her." We know that's a bad idea, right? We've seen Abraham and Sarah with Hagar, the slave, the servant who bore Ishmael, and that went. I mean, we know as readers this is not going to work. This is a bad idea. So she gave him her maid Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob went into her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, "God has judged me and has also heard my voice and given me a son." Therefore she named him Dan. Rachel's maid, I don't know, he is judged. Rachel's maid Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. And then Rachel said, "With mighty wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister and have prevailed." So she named him Naphtali. And the word wrestled has a footnote that says, well, Hebrew is Niftal, which Naphtali came from Niftal, which came from struggle. And when Leah saw that she had ceased bearing children, she took her maid Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Now remember, Leah and Rachel were sisters. And Jacob was betrothed to Rachel and worked 7 years to earn her the marriage to Rachel. And the father did a switch and put Leah in there. Jacob did another 14 years for them to earn Rachel. So anyway, when Leah saw that she had ceased bearing children, she took her maid Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Again, oh my gosh. Then Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob a son. And Leah said, "Good fortune." And so she named him Gad. And our footnote for Gad says, that is fortune. Leah's maid Zilpah bore Jacob a second son, and Leah said, "Happy am I, for the women shall call me happy." So she named him Asher, which is happy. Yeah, biblical marriage. 2 wives. Actually ended up with 4 wives because he says married the maids. They could have been concubines. Um, that's what I like to bring up when people want to talk about biblical marriage. Okay, which example do you want? In the days of wheat harvest, Reuben went and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." But she said to her, "Is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Would you take away my son's mandrakes also?" Rachel said, "Then he may lie with you tonight for your son's mandrakes." When Jacob came in from the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, "You must come into me, for I have hired you with my son's mandrakes." Oh my gosh, this story. Uh, this again, we thought not just biblical marriage. People want to talk about polyamory, uh, and try to say it's a wonderful thing. I read this story. This never works, guys. When Jacob come, let's see, you hired you with my son's mandrakes. So he lay with her that night. And God heeded Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a 5th son. And Leah said, "God has given me my hire because I gave my maid to my husband." So she named him Issachar. And the Hebrew for hire, Sakar. And Leah conceived again, and she bore Jacob a 6th son. And then Leah said, "God has endowed me with a good dowry. Now my husband will honor me." The Hebrew for honor is Zabal, because I have borne him 6 sons. So she named him Zebulon. Zabal, Zebulon. Afterwards, she bore a daughter and named her Dinah. Dinah had 6 older brothers, just from directly from her mom, much less her half brothers. And then God remembered Rachel, and God heeded her and opened her womb. She conceived and bore a son, and said, "God has taken away my reproach." And she named him Joseph, which is Hebrew for he adds, saying, "May the Lord add to me another son." Soap opera time. Yeah, Old Testament's full of them, guys. Romans 8:18-30, future glory. I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory about to be revealed to us. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the children of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not of its own will, but by the will of the one who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to decay and will obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God. All in these long sentences. We know that until the creation, back up, we know that the whole creation has been groaning in labor pains until now. And not only the creation, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly while we wait for adoption, the redemption of our bodies. For in hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope, for who hopes for what is seen? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. For we do not know how to pray as we ought, but that very Spirit intercedes with sighs too deep for words. And God, who searches the heart, knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn within a large family. And those whom he predestined, he also called. And those whom he called, he also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. And here's Paul with this string of if-then statements. Paul was a born computer programmer 2,000 years before computers. Then, if then, if. And that's our daily lectionary reading for, where was I? The 21st? 21st. See you guys later.